What I should have looked this up before asking you, but what's your history against Aaron Donald? Can you wreck a game as much as anyone you've ever faced?
Yeah, absolutely. We came out the same year, and Senior Bowl, all that stuff. And so, I still, remember him in the Senior Bowl getting a guard, and I still got some skin missing on my shin because of the cleat that went into my shin. And one time in Oakland, he gets there so fast, it's a quick game. You're about to throw the ball and he still hits you. It's like the guy is one of the best football players that we have all ever seen. And I've always been a fan of his, respect him. He's one of the very few defensive players that my boys do have a signed football from. But there's just that level of respect for him, and just have appreciated him over the years. But he is a lot of fun to watch, tough to go against.
You say quick game. What's your feeling on that in general? Just like, is it frustrating when you know you've got to speed up your own clock? I mean, and you just have to really be disciplined and stick with it, because it.
Oh yeah, and I mean they all feed off of it. They know how good he is, and you can see it in the way that they cover, and the way they do things sometimes defensively over the years. I'm not just talking this group, I'm talking about just over the years. Like, guys, they just expect him to get there and they can jump things and all that. So it makes it tough. It really does. He, like I said, he's one of the all-time, greats, and we get to watch him and compete against him and all of those things, and it's a lot of fun. And he doesn't get enough credit for just how smart he is too. He listens to calls. He knows things. He's, you gotta, use things against him that you don't use against other people, and there's I think that's just the ultimate sign of respect, that not only physically is he dominant, but mentally he's just so smart and can understand things that you got to be ready for that.
Derek, why is your efficiency and the offensive efficiency jumped so much these last 3 games? And not just the 9 or 10 in the red zone, but I think 10 touchdowns overall, probably.
Yeah, I just we're all just getting more comfortable with each other, and this is some of the things that we saw in training camp that we could be, and it's been clicking for us. Everyone's on the same page. Everyone's doing their job. That one sounds so cliche, but that's a big part of it. Everybody just does their job. Is at the right spot when you need them. Your quarterback, get the ball to them. All those things, and it's just it's been a lot of fun. It's been nice to see what it can be and what we're hoping to improve on also. But yeah, I mean, it's just everybody's doing their job and at a high level, and that's what it takes to win, especially late in the NFL season.
What do you want to see better?
Literally everything. We can start better at times. I think on our first drives, our second drives have been good. Third drive, we get going. There's some things there we can do better. We can always improve on third down. That's going to be tough no matter who you're playing. We can always improve there. For me, just as you're feeling better, the timing's better, guys are in there that you're used to, and all that stuff, the accuracy and things like that, the efficiency. Those things, until I'm done playing football, are things that we can always improve on for sure.
How does the play action game sort of help you when you're kind of in with a play action game?
Well, I think it helps everybody. I think it helps the offensive line. It helps the running game. That linebackers just can't take off downhill when I turn my back. I think some of the best teams I grew up watching were they could run the football, and the play action part of it was huge. And the faking is just as important, as the route itself. And so it's just those things tied in with a good run game, tied in with a good O-line and skill guys. That just helps the team. From a timing standpoint, from a pocket standpoint, all of those things tie in together.
Do you have a friendship with Matthew Stafford? I know he was in the NFC his whole career. Do you remember any games against him, or just kind of what is your relationship with him?
Oh yeah, we've talked over the years. There was even a player that that we were trying to get with the Raiders, and so I talked to him about that player and stuff like that. And we've always been cordial. We don't FaceTime each other every week or text all the time, but every time we see each other, it's definitely we had a similar quarterback coach for years, both of us, and that always ties guys together. You're watching all their film and their drills and all that, so you feel like you know them already, and so I'm just happy for him, and he was able to, go get a championship, and he's still going, trying to get more. And I just have always loved him as a player. He's got one of the most ridiculous right arms football has ever seen. He makes some throws, every Sunday his whole career where you just laugh. You have to, just as a fan of the game, you appreciate it. And so we've had battles before, some that came down to like the last play and all that. So we've had some games throughout the years for sure.
What do you think
talked
about
the protection? How do you what does it say about the offensive line that they have one of their better protecting games without the starting right tackle?
Yeah, it says a lot about the offensive line, the players. It says a lot about the coaches, and just their willingness to not quit even though one of our key guys is out. Their mentality to say that it's next man up, and we've had that happen a couple times, and guys have stepped up all year long, and they're doing a fantastic job, and was really proud of them. This last game, obviously, as a quarterback, that's your favorite thing in the world, and they got a great challenge again this week, and I think they're excited about. But yeah, I think a lot of credit goes to the players and their mentality, and a lot of credit goes to the coaches and making sure everybody's ready.
I'm sorry if you've been asked this already. We talked about, they did a good job last week. Kayvon Thibodeau was that primary. Now you got good old Aaron Donald.
Yep.
What do you think the difference is in the challenge of guarding that kind of a player?
Yeah, Aaron, like I said before, Aaron is one of the all-time great football players that we will ever see. He is unbelievably dominant. He is, physical. He's fast. He runs down ball carriers. His motor doesn't stop. He can absolutely ruin a football game. I know guys that were on that staff or played there, and they're like, dude, like if he wants to, like we can not run a play at practice. Like he can ruin every play. And to do that at this level, I think of guys that have just those crazy abilities like Tyreek. Like he's making the fastest people in football look not fast at times. Aaron Donald is making some of the best offensive linemen in the world. Some that have ever walked this earth. He's making them look silly at times, and you just have to tip your hat to that in that respect, because God spent a little extra on some of these guys for sure.
What have you seen from Witherspoon on film, and just how much do you have to be aware of where he is?
Well, he's doing a good job, in that scheme, understanding, his responsibilities, where his help is. He does a great job athletically, with his athleticism, matching guys and running with them and getting in and out of his breaks. And I've always thought he was a very talented player. For years now, I've always thought a lot of him.
How much has that second day of red zone work actually paid off, or is it just because it's working, the numbers are better, so the second day is the magic's is it that simple? Is it?
We're hoping so. That's a loaded question, because you think whatever you emphasize in life, whatever you emphasize and work at, you usually get better at, and that's one of the things we've just emphasized and tried to work at. And if you look back at some of the red zone times, you would say, oh, that second day is helpful, and then there's other times where it's like, oh, well, if we just didn't have that penalty, or if we just didn't, and so right now we're bought in. We're all in on it, having that extra time and that work, helping us for sure.
Why do you think that's not as common in the NFL? I mean, the red zone's a huge area. It seems like most teams just do it once a week. Have you done it 2 times a week before? Or
No. Some staffs are different. They cover. There's a lot of information to cover, and there's a lot of things to be put in. Some people put in a lot of third down stuff. Some people put a lot of base stuff. Some people try and limit that because they know it's going to grow throughout the week, and it's just different everywhere you are. Everyone's got different philosophies on that, and how they practice on a Friday, and all that stuff. And so this just happens to be working for us right now.
I know most guys talk about Thursday night recuperating, which obviously it's a part of it. But when you have a game, when you're that efficient, is it almost a good thing that you're playing so soon, because maybe some of that can carry over with the way you played just a few days ago? Yeah,
I think it works both ways, because I've had games where you're really frustrated after a game. You're I'm glad I don't have to wait till Sunday, and then also, after a good game that we had as a team, you're like, man, I'll play. Can we play today? You want to get back out there because you feel good. And so, I think just really it's in the mindset, as I've learned over my 10 years. Like, you got to set your mind for Thursdays. They're going to happen whether you want them to or not. I think players have talked about that ad nauseum. And you got to bring the energy and the effort, to have a good day. So for me, I've been on both sides of it, and I think it works for you in both ways sometimes, for sure.
In the last 3 weeks or so, there's been some big moments. You looked at A.T. Perry, the shot play, a couple long third downs, the pass interference. Is that kind of with a rookie receiver? Is that kind of that trust just built throughout the season? And where would you say that is with E.T. right now?
Yeah, I definitely trust him. I can promise you throughout my career, if I throw the ball in your direction, especially in some critical moments, then I trust you, and and they've earned that. And A.T. is someone that has earned that. He's earned those opportunities. He continues to make plays for us, down the field, situationally. The one in the red zone, he's about to go up and, I think catch it, being positive, and he gets a PI, great, first down. So to call on his number, and for coaches to have him in certain spots for, hey, just in case this ball may be going to you or this may be going to you, that says a lot too. Even if the ball doesn't go there, he could be the primary and they could take it away. So he's earned that right, and I'm excited about him. I'm excited about his future, because throwing to a guy that big and that strong and that physical is always fun for a quarterback.
Going back to the red zone improvement real quick, how much of that is, Jimmy Graham's obviously been productive in that area, but also just his ability to draw bodies, be a decoy, if you want to call him that, how much does his presence kind of help there?
Oh, it's huge. Obviously, he can make the play. We've seen that. But also on Keith Kirkwood's touchdown, you see, they're playing a, too high defense, and he's drawing two defenders, and down in that space for a guy to be able to do that opens windows for everybody else. And so, yeah, you're dead on with that thinking. Like, not only can he make the plays for us, but just his presence out there alone, everyone's antenna. He's caught all these touchdowns. As soon as he's out there on the field, everyone's antenna's up. And that's good for us as a team.
Just following up on that, has Jimmy gone from just being a guy out there knowing who he is to maybe being more of an integral part of the game plan in recent weeks?
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't put the exact weeks on it, but yeah, there's definitely been a shift since he's been up, and you saw him not only in the red zone but on a crucial third down for us. Keep the drive alive on a stick route. He comes in, wins, catches it, and gets vertical, and the crowd went nuts. For Jimmy. So you see that he's become exactly what we thought he was, exactly who we think he is. He's one of the best tight ends ever, and he's still playing at a high level, which ultimately helps all our receivers, helps the other tight ends, and helps everybody. Good.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Yep.
it.